I see 4, not sure where 6 is, with Byron, Cantrell, Isaiah, and Taylor Rapp.
There's some guys are two-way as well.
Those are really the guys that we're looking at in our secondary, those 4 guys. And so most of the time, this is the way, not just this league, but football in general, with the spread offenses, you're seeing 3 receivers and 4 receivers most of the time. So most of the time, we're playing with 5 defensive backs. And so you really need, we look at our numbers continually, every year, every 30 months, what we're doing on defense, what we're doing on offense, and how's that trying to change our strategy and how many we need in each position. And the one thing we know, we can't get enough good defensive backs. It's just, with the style of offenses we're seeing, you need a bunch of good DBs.
Coach, I know you're not a big fan of the star system.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, you look at this recruiting class last year, you guys were top 25 rankings. Boise State, I don't think you ever cracked the top 50. A lot of times you're 70s, 80s, 90s. What is being at an actual university of Power 5? How has that helped you just do generally?
I don't know. I need to be careful because I got a chip on my shoulder about that. I think at Boise we were, 75, and then when you look at the real rankings at one time in the year with that class that ranked 75, we're number 3 in the country. Those are the rankings you need to pay attention to. And so we thought all along we were getting really good players there. Now have things changed a little bit being at this, in this league and this university? I know there's a lot more competition for some of these guys. And so, people would be asked, is it easier recruiting here? No, it's harder recruiting here. Who you're recruiting against is so much better, it's much harder. But I don't know about those stars. I even know my first year here, and even last year. I saw something that, I saw some stars on Trey Adams, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the best high school lineman I've ever seen. And, whatever he was ranked. And so, yeah, that's why we just don't get caught up in it. We take pride in doing so much research, and then all of a sudden say, oh, this is a really good recruiting class. This is the highest ever. It's like, who's saying that?
Well, the people who say that, Alabama has the best recruiting class year in and year out, watch them win national championships. So I'm not sure it's completely, false. But so I guess my point being, I chalk some of that up to coaching. Probably if you can take a 75 class and make them number 3 in the nation. So if you're getting kids who, on paper, are more athletic or higher talent, do you think you can do even more with that?
So what I think is, the thing that's so hard to measure in this whole thing is, and it's hard for us, is all the intangible factors. On tape, it's pretty easy to evaluate a kid. And, do any of these recruiting services look at a kid's transcript and really find out his background? No, that's not their job. That's our job. And to us, we think that factors into so much in terms of how a kid develops. And so that's why, talent is overrated. Everybody's got talent. It's like, how do they handle being away from home and what kind of teammate they are, and how much we can push them and develop them. And I think that's why I'm always so just kind of lukewarm on all that. I just think that there's a lot of guys that have a lot of talent that it's like, we're not going to recruit that guy. He might turn out to be good, but it's just not, the profile that we're looking for, if that makes sense.
So, Chris, how can a recruit will tell you what you want to hear in a meeting? Like if you ban 100% or elsewhere, how do you go back and find out if it really can stick to 100% commitment? What's your fails?
There's always, there's always going to be some twists and turns in the whole process that both sides go through. And I think the key is it's just open communication. So we both know where we are the whole time. And if something comes up that a guy's changed his mind and needs to go look at a place, then they need to do that. They just need to understand how that kind of affects us and where we go from here. So I'm not saying a kid doesn't go take another visit after he's committed. That's not the direction that we're planning on going, and it's going to change us, and we may go look for another guy as well. But it's never going to be 100%, and you're trying to not to be, you can't be so black and white in this thing. We're not going to cut off our nose to spite our face. But you try to put boundaries and guidelines, and you communicate the whole way through it. I mean, I think that's what nobody really likes, is when somebody feels like, you know, trying to pull a fast one on either side. You know, university doing something, or it's not exactly what you said it was going to be. And so we just try to communicate and work through the process the best we can.
How important is it to try to leverage subtly relationships, past relationships with players who may have come out of the same school, coaches, other connections we made? Are those important with most kids when, as far as their perception of the program?
I think our best recruiters should be our players and ex-players. That's what I think. Ask those guys. I mean, they've been through it. And if we're doing our process right and we're the coaches that we kind of hope to be and think we are, those players should sell this place for